Dan Click, and I'm the Grayson Gallery and Art Center director. I actually started painting when I was about in 6th grade, so whatever age I was at that point. And it was, and I even have a couple of pieces here I did back all the way back then. I saved them all these years just to show people how bad you can be and get better, you know. So it's just something I had an instructor in the neighborhood that taught, and I was able to take oil painting classes back then, all those years ago. So I went to Morehead and was able to just work my way through with a workshop and a scholarship. And I took every class that I could up to the point where I basically ran out of money and went off to have my life. So while I was working, a big part of what you do, you get involved in community and you do all kinds of things. Well, art was my love, so I naturally gravitated towards what at that time was the Ashland Area Art Gallery. So I was named to the board, entered their shows, and did a lot of things like that with them. But there was a whole huge 20 years of training being involved in galleries. My workshop at Morehead was in the gallery. So I worked with some professors, you know, with slideshows and that type of thing, but the majority of my hands-on work was hanging shows. So I love that part, and it's part of what I love to do now. So over all these years, when I moved to Grayson, there was no gallery here. And it's kind of a long story, but basically what happened, this building now is an old fire station, the former fire station in Grayson. The city's tourism commission owns the building, and it was slated to be torn down. Well, there's been an annual show every year that attracts a lot of artists, and they put it in a little park. And we were talking about a rain location for that. So whenever that came up, I said, let's look at the old fire station. So we just walked next door and looked around in here, and it had an old bus in it and a couple other things that had been vacant for a few years. They bought it specifically to tear down. And then I said, well, why don't we host a show there? So we have this annual event called Memory Days in Grayson, and it's sort of a homecoming of sorts and a big weekend of people being here. So we decided to open that weekend. We knew we'd have a good crowd. We had 250 people in here, which is huge for an art opening. And then I said, well, what about next month? Let's have another show. And then we actually started deciding to call it a Final Friday Art Walk. It went from the second month to all the way to the end of the year. So in 2011, we had it first a month or two, and then through the balance of the year. They gave us a whole year in 2012. And then by 2013, we were forming a nonprofit organization. We got our 501c3. We did all that kind of thing to make it more of a formal gallery instead of just my wife Minnie and I kind of doing it together. So after that was done, it's just outpouring and support. We have average of over 100 people at every opening. They put money in our donation box. The city funds us. They give us all our little budget that we have in addition to our donors. And it just took off, and it's become kind of a place for everybody to get together here. We're attracting people from all over, not just the tri-state, but gosh, as far away as Michigan and Mississippi and just all kinds of places. So it's basically the reason we stayed is because it's gotten so much support. One of the biggest was because it was new. You know, we were 3 months into it before people said, what are these prices on paintings, you know, because a lot of people they didn't have the opportunity to get to galleries out here. They would travel a little bit, but it's usually, you know how galleries sometimes feel. They don't have that touchy feeling. You know, you go in, it's real quiet, and there's not so much hands-on. Well, we wanted a whole different model, and I'd seen how galleries in the past had, you know, just kind of outgrown themselves by trying to basically make their entire focus fundraising to be able to keep open. Well, we didn't want that. We want a low budget, simple little mission, and our mission is just to provide a venue for the arts. So we're focused on visual arts, but then we have live music every month. We are going to start some other programs with drop-in musicians and a lot of things. We're going to have an artist market with working artists that'll be in here doing studio type space. So challenges have been just trying to, I guess, basically get people on our side, you know, to be involved and to support it. And then, you know, every now and then you get somebody that's not quite with you, and so you have to fight that little battle with them. But generally, the support has been amazing. So I haven't had nearly as many challenges as just time is one, and manpower, probably the two biggest. Just we can't be here ourselves every day, and now we're looking for more volunteers. But we ask everyone, we almost ask everyone that walks in these doors, are you an artist? Or anybody we see on the street, we ask. If they hesitate for even 1 second, I know I got them, because they probably are. They may not realize it, nobody's ever told them that, but if I get any kind of a contact, referral, you know, just somebody says my son paints, my mom paints, we try to get them on our list. We invite them to show, and it's really just, we send out a mass email of hundreds and hundreds of names. We ask them all to enter, or basically submit work. We don't have any entry fee or anything at this point on most of our open shows. And then once they're on our list, then we invite them to show, and it may be something like a themed exhibit. This one in particular, because the holidays are approaching, we're going to have as mainly a winter and that type of theme. Seasonal, you know, Santa Claus, whatever it may be. We do a Peace and Love show every February, Women's History Month special exhibit for women in March. April is always an Earth Day type theme. So we have a few every year that are themed, and then we invite artists to kind of paint to that theme, but they can bring a frog and we'll put it in a Christmas show, we don't care. So we do have some that definitely will meet our themes. Others just want to show their work and we'll accept that. And probably more than anything, we want it to not seem so small town, but have the small town advantages, but to be open to artists so they don't have to take off to some of the bigger cities, you know, Louisville or Columbus to do something. And that's what we hope it will feel more like. I've kind of found that my own calling may be that it's to help some of these younger people get started. I had that kind of help, and I don't want to forget that. So, the Grayson Gallery and Art Center, which is what our formal name is open to everyone, whether you're an artist, a musician, other mediums, and other arts, even acting, whatever it may be. Because what we want to do is try to bring the arts to this part of the world. And is just as open to the artists as it is to the public. So more than anything, I'd like everybody to be able to participate, come in here and hang out, have some fun, you know, and make it. I tell most of the younger ones, just consider this your home, and we love that part.